Today on the channel, we're throwing out some old school curses with the Jazzwares Vault exclusive Ring of Honor legend, Danhausen.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Jazzwares Vault exclusive unboxing and review. And today on the channel from the Jazzwares Vault, we got the Ring of Honor Danhausen. And for all your Ring of Honor Danhausen needs, Jazzwares Vault. It is a Jazzwares Vault exclusive at this time. I do assume, like the other Ring of Honor, the other Jazzwares Vault figures that are wrestling related, probably ringside collectibles in the future. So depending how you want to order, where you want to order from, look into that, I guess is what I'll say. But I'll also say we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And Ring of Honor Danhausen, very interesting. For those that don't know, Ring of Honor had Danhausen for a little bit before they closed their doors, before the Tony Khan AEW era, I guess we'll say. But when Danhausen was really making moves on the indie scene, who's fooling? He still is. But when he was really making those moves, Ring of Honor did snatch him up, and that was, for a lot of people, the first time they ever really got to see Danhausen wrestle, Danhausen out there. A lot of people had heard the name, hadn't seen him till Ring of Honor. A little curious to be this early in a Ring of Honor line, but guess what? You got to get the most out of your molds. You got to strike while the iron's hot. Danhausen's still pretty hot, not on AEW TV necessarily, but back on a lot of different indie shows. Game Changer Wrestling, GCW, as we do know as well, and indies across the nation. Even my local indie, he will be here on the 22nd of June, so I'll look forward to seeing Danhausen again at that show. So Danhausen making towns, making moves, making action figures, and he's no stranger to the Jazzwares line, of course, as we've had multiple Danhausen figures, which we will compare to later in this very video. But without further ado, let's check out what's going on. Let's check out what all the fuss is about. Almost forgot the old school Super 7-esque shipper box on him. You do get this nice shipper box, a box over that, then the big box everything came in. Very well packaged. You always got to say that about the Vault, no doubt about it. Ring of Honor, Danhausen right there. Nothing too wild, pretty much is what it is. So behind the back, see you later, goodbye. All right, now we get the true packaging out here. We get Danhausen, he's throwing up the curse, throwing up those gang signs, the curse hand. 1 of 5,000 on this Danhausen for those keeping track of home. Ring of Honor logo, Danhausen name, Danhausen on the side, of course, Danhausen on the side, of course, Danhausen on the back, of course. So we're playing all those Danhausen packaging hits. And there it is, the old slipcover, three-pointer, Larry Bird style. He shoots, he scores. There it is, looking good there. And now we get Danhausen out of the package, looking extra good here as well. You got all kinds of different hands going on, different heads. You do get the Danhausen body, of course, and it looks like a soft goods wired cape. You know I'm here for that. You're going to be interested to see how much meat is on the bone on this one as well compared to some of the other ones. And I believe we got a jar of teeth, which we have not seen yet, and that'll be pretty cool. That is something different, and a lot of Danhausen fans, I wasn't going to buy that Danhausen, but this one comes with the teeth, much like the retro Zombie Sailor figure did, as we know. 1 of 5,000 sticker on here, once again, Ring of Honor Danhausen. On the back, that same image we saw in the slipcase as well, so nothing too wild right there. But now I'm going to have to try to, I always can never remember how to open these guys up. And luckily I am an opener, so I don't have to really worry about damaging the package or worrying about that at all. But it is a little confusing from time to time, trying to figure out, okay, all these package designs, how do you go in? And right here, I'm going in through the back. I'm a master going in that back door. That's what my wife always says. See you later. Goodbye. And we got Danhausen out of the package. Look at that, Danhausen looking good, ready to go, ready to take on the world like a young Man of War. Yes, you heard it here first. Man of War. Joey DeMaio. Shout out to him. See you later. And we're going to pull everything out. A little clamshell action. So we get another little see you later right there. Pop these hands and heads out. And don't forget them teeth. Oh my gosh. Teeth on a roll. Lost the teeth. Oh my gosh. What are we doing? It's off the rails. Danhausen style already. Might as well take my time. I got to go find that. We'll be back talking all things Danhausen. Ring of Honor. All right, all is right in the world. I did find Danhausen's teeth in the carpet. So the carpet monster loses again today. See you later. Goodbye. Let's dive into the accessories on this one here. We got the maniacal hands right out of the package for Danhausen. So we can give you some jazz hands, some Bret Hart hands, some spooky hands, some defense hands on the basketball court. Choose your own hand adventure there. And then you get the pointer finger hands here for Danhausen once again. He's going to give you the old curse if you're not careful. We even got one, of course, with his wedding ring. Very proud of his wedding ring right here. My wife, I never wear a wedding ring. For whatever reason, mine got too loose and it always falls off. So I'm like, I'm going to lose this thing. So I just stopped wearing it. Maybe I'll get like a sweet tattoo around there, like some barbed wire. I don't know. Probably not. But I am married, folks. Sorry, ladies. I am married. Yeah, there you go. Now we do got some teeth. We got jar o' teeth right here looking good. A jar. Looks almost like popcorn in here. You can say, oh, it's a popcorn. Okay. But it's supposed to be teeth. Of course, he was wrangling teeth all the time back in the day, as we do remember. Still talks about it, still does it a little bit, but not as much as he did back in the Ring of Honor and Indie days. It seemed like it was a big part of every single match was the teeth. You know, putting them in somebody's mouth or trying to extract some teeth. He was like a young Isaac Yankem, really, at the end of the day. But we do have that. But now, get down to Danhausen himself. 3 heads for this Danhausen. And I believe some of these heads are new. We'll do some comparisons in the images and later on in this video. But we've had so many Danhausen heads, but I do believe we have at least 2 new heads here. Correct me if I'm wrong. I am sure you will. But we get Danhausen out of the package. Little teeth showing there. Of course, face paint you can set your watch to. You got the hair going on. You got the makeup or paint, I guess, in black at the top and around the ears, and then his brown hair in the back there, so that is on point for old Danhausen. I gotta say, I got some sloppy paint work on here. Looking close to the side on the cheek and stuff, I do have some sloppy paint, so that is unfortunate, of course, as it always is. Second head sculpt here, we got Danhausen looking very surprised. We got the mouth open. Thankfully, no paint issues with that one. I'm probably going to use one of these more expressive heads on him anyways, so I am glad it's not one of these that has the paint issues, but this one out of the package does have some paint issues there. I guess you could say it's battle damage. He was like the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6, just wearing through it is what he was doing. Who knows? But very surprised look on him here. Once again, you got the hair going on. I feel like we've seen this one as well. But then I think this head sculpt is new. And this is almost like the eviler Danhausen. Yes, eviler. An eviler Danhausen here. Very similar. He's got a little curl, lip curl going on. I would love to see one of these heads be like the crazy, evil, early Danhausen, where he was more like almost satanic-like. Give me that one. But all 3 head sculpts, choose your own head adventure. Just got to find which one works for you. We know how that goes, of course. Now we do got a soft goods cape, got a little Velcro. Oh, the power of Velcro, it compels us, just like magnets do from time to time. But it does clip around his neck there. Of course, you can remove the head or you can just unzip it. Choose your own adventure. It is the Danhausen cape, and of course he's got the satanic goat on the back, because if you're worshiping Satan and you need an animal companion, you're not going to go for a dog, you're not going for a cat, you're getting a goat. That's what you're going to do. We know how that goes. It says Danhausen on the back. Red and black attack. Love, love, love. I say it all the time. Love me some wired capes. We got wired cape going on here. Very cool. You can move and mix and match and do however you want, but we've got the wire in the cape. Always great to see. Red lining on the inside, and then a very ungodly, unsightly tag right here. It's probably a legal thing. You probably have to do these kind of things. A lot of people are going to cut this off. I'm so weird in my mind, and I know some of you guys will agree with me. I don't want this here. I want this gone, but I can't bring myself to cut it off, because I always think, well, 20 years from now I'm going to sell this, and I'm going to make, $10 more by having this tag in there. Stupid thoughts, just your brain. It's not OCD, I don't think, but it's keeping it stock and it's not mixing and matching. Same thing with me. I don't like mixing and matching parts from other figures because I'm scared I'll forget what they were supposed to look like originally. First world problems if there ever was one. That's it. But a beautiful, beautiful cape on that. But then from there, really feels like the Danhausen figures we know of old. I have to imagine the same body style being used on this one as well. But the first thing you notice about Danhausen, after you get through the head and looking at the face paint, everybody loves face paint, we know how that goes, is all the tattoos, the big chest tattoo, the arm tattoos. Jazzwares team always nails it, always knocks it out of the park on the tattoos, and they got some of the most tattooed wrestlers of all time. I don't think there's ever been a more tattooed roster than AEW. So they're ready to go, ready to fly with all that. You got the black wrist tape going on as well. A different Danhausen logo, almost an Eric Cartman-esque Danhausen logo right there on the belt. Black tights, little red action to break up the monotony. Doc Martin's down here like a young Darby Allin figure is what it looks like as well. And of course, Danhausen's of the past. Arms go all the way around for us, as we do know. Bicep cut. Double jointed pinned elbows. Hands back and forth, side to side, removable. Head removable, back and forth, up and down. A lot of up and down on this one, so choose your own head adventure again. Hula hoop at the top, traditional waist as well. Those big old Danhausen splits, known for his splits work, as we know. If you ever get your autograph from Danhausen, say, hey, Kyle Peterson says you do amazing splits. Can you show us? See what happens. See what happens. You do get the legs that go up right there. Thigh cut. Double jointed, non-pinned knees, or pinned knees, I should say. No boot cut at the upper. It looked like there was a boot cut there, but it's a lower boot cut. And then, of course, ankles back and forth, side to side. The usual Jazzwares, or in this case, Ring of Honor articulation. And the, of course, fits on a Jazzwares ringside collectible exclusive stand. We've seen that before as well. So he does fit on there easily. Very good. Very good. Now it's time for the parade of Danhausen. That's what we're going to do. We're going to bring out all these Danhausens. This is probably the one I've seen the most. You see this at retail all the time. It's been around. But we've also had other ones like the 2-pack with Hook from Amazon. I like how this one feels a bit different with the plastic cape, giving it a little extra personality. And then, of course, speaking of cape, we get a totally different wired cape on this one. We get the old Very Nice, Very Evil. We have that. I don't have the Chase one unboxed, so it is what it is. That's another one you could roll out. But I do have a little custom between an Orange Cassidy Danhausen. We all remember that in Fateful Gimmick, of course, when he dressed like Orange Cassidy. How about that? So that looks pretty good. But all things considered, it's another Danhausen for your arsenal. And I can easily see people saying, hey, how many Danhausens do I need? You're your favorite wrestler ever? You need all of them. You're a completist? You need all of them. But if you're somebody that dabbles in the line, you might have picked up the ringside collectible exclusive from last year. You're probably good on Danhausen, in all honesty. That is the figure. This one's nice, though. You do get the beautiful new cape. It is changed. And you do get the teeth, which you've never had before. So there's some points of differences there. It's just all about justification at the end of the day. How do you want it? How do you like your Danhausen? You got to vote with your wallet. You got to figure it out. And if you want this one, once again, Jazzwares Vault. These other ones, Ringside Collectibles is the place to be. Or a custom. There it is. But there's the Ring of Honor Danhausen figure. Be very interested to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Was this a pickup, a pass, a long game, I'm not so sure game? Let me know your thoughts once again in the comments down below. And of course, if you made it this far, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel or my other YouTube channel. 2 channels with videos every day. Appreciate all the support out there. You can also check out the Patreon for early access to videos like this. Bonus content, exclusive content, giveaways, Q&As, you name it. It's all going down on the old Patreon. Appreciate the support. ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And social media, SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for Ring of Honor Danhausen, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.